All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Royal We family, everybody that's out there. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome to the Royal We Live. This is the live stream version of the Royal We, where we chat, hopefully with all of you from the community that's on the Facebook support group, the Royal We Facebook support group, and also others who have managed to find the Royal We Live. This is where we do a live chat. We talk about what's going on in the community. We talk about what's going on in the world, and there's a lot to talk about with the whole epidemic that's taken place. And we also talk about narcissistic abuse. That's primarily why we're here, and healing from narcissistic abuse. D-Doll, what's going on? First to like, and it says 9 o'clock start time. Whoop, whoop. That's right. Listen, we've got to do our best to be on top of this stuff and to be on time, D. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everybody's used to it starting right on time, so there's going to be some stragglers coming in. There's Mike Wilson. How are you doing, Mike? I'm going to give just a little bit of time here for some people to sign on, and before we get started and we chat, and like always tonight, you all are welcome to call in. The telephone number is right up behind my head, and so yeah, it's good to see all of you here. East Fort Worth, where it's a little cool and rainy. D, how is everybody doing? Are you all staying quarantined? And Mike, you as well. Are you guys staying quarantined, staying out of the stores and whatnot? It's getting a little crazy out there. People are losing their minds, man. People are losing it, and I get it. I get it. It's a very weird thing that's taking place. Hi, Fifi LaFleur, artist lover. How are you? It's good to see you all. Yes, it's good to see you all. So hopefully you're all doing well. Donovan Brooks, how are you doing? And yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you all are here so far. So for those of you who are new to the Royal We Live, thank you for being here. We're happy to have you here. This, once again, is the live version of the Royal We, where we chat about narcissistic abuse. We answer questions. This is your time to ask those questions. Right now, there can be a lot of questions about how to deal with this situation, especially if you are dealing with narcissists in your relationships, family, exes, friends. And this can be a time where you really start to feel the grief of the pain of the relationship, the grief of missing it. Maybe you miss having that person to talk to. You miss having that family to talk to in these particular times. So this can be a very difficult time. This could be a time where you can feel very alone and very isolated. Hi, everybody. There's everybody just pouring on in now. Cheryl, hi, from Roseville, California. How are you doing out there in California? Paula Foster, how are you? Wet Wings, hi. Heather Lynn, hi. Michael Wilson, social distancing, struggling, but doing it. Good. So, good evening. Carice Shaw, how are you? Yeah, so this is definitely a difficult time for a lot of people. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music down. And for those of you who are new to the Royal We, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss the live. And I also encourage you to make sure that you're subscribed to the Organic Royal We channel. The Organic Royal We channel is where I post all the normal videos that I do. I just uploaded one this morning on using CBD as a way to calm the symptoms of PTSD coming out of narcissistic abuse. I specifically tried to gear the video towards people who are coming out of narcissistic abuse, because there's lots of reasons why people try to use things like CBD, a remedy like CBD. Now, I have always been against, personally, trying to use something, a medication or anything like that. I've always been against it. I've always been the type of, let's just talk about stuff. Let's just let's pray things away. But what I've discovered is it doesn't always work that way, right? I've been praying for years, as many of you have, and there's still a little bit of pain. There's still that residue. There's still that yuckiness that can hang on to you. There's still some obsessive thinking. There's parts of you that have not gone back to normal, may never quite go back to normal. And so this is where we get into, well, how do we deal with this stuff? What are we missing in our life? Is it diet? Yes, diet's a big part of it. Are there certain types of things, natural things, that can help soothe our minds? Because now we're getting into things that we don't quite understand about our own physiological nature, right? When you experience abuse, when you experience the toxicity of a relationship, changes take place inside of you, inside your mind. things are routed differently. You get stuck in loops. You have adrenal fatigue, and all kinds of weird systematic changes happen. I am not under the belief that you can simply just pray and talk some of these things away. Some of these may require certain nutrients, certain vitamins, certain supplements that can help the body, right? And so this was the angle that I wanted to find out with CBD. So for those of you who saw the video on CBD, on cannabis, that was the angle I was taking. As opposed to going to a doctor and getting prescribed, Percocets or whatever people take, I don't even know. Because a lot of these things have side effects when it comes to dealing with people's depression and anxiety. I wanted to find out, can a natural supplement like CBD help? I heard it could. So I had to try it for myself. And I did make the video. I posted it. I talked all about my experience with taking it. I talked about the pros and the cons. And I talked about the research I did before taking it. I met with somebody who takes it on a regular basis and runs a shop selling the stuff. She was very kind, very nice. Her name is Christina, and she runs a shop here in St. Louis. And she was just she was able to answer the questions. And what really impressed me about her having a conversation with me is that she kept it with where I was at. She knew I was there specifically wondering about how CBD can help in healing from narcissistic abuse. She took it seriously that there's pain, there's obsessive thinking, there is anger issues, there's sadness, there's flashbacks, there's all this stuff. And she kept the conversation there. This is what CBD does for that, right? And then when I tried it, sure enough, she was right. CBD, it blew my mind with the way that it suppressed and helped my. It just really stopped. I felt it block the circular thinking that I would start to get into that causes anxiety, the obsessive thoughts. It just stopped it. So if I had a triggering thought about a narcissistically abusive person, a family member, or somebody, which usually triggers some bad juju in me, when I think about that. When I was taking the CBD, it's almost as if there was a weight being pushed down on those thoughts where it was circulating. It was just being weighed down. It was being squashed. And then it stopped. And it's like it was just saying, shh, just stop it, shh. And I didn't even have to try. And it just went away. And I was able to then just focus on what I was doing. It was amazing. I had not experienced that up to that point. Without taking CBD, prior to that, if I had those flashbacks, if I had those recurring thoughts, it would run its course. I would think about it, obsess about it. I would be built up and sometimes filled with the adrenaline. I'd go into the fight or flight response. My fist would sometimes clench, right? I'm telling you, I would experience this, right? Very grievous, very agonizing, as if I was reliving what took place. These are the flashbacks. So the CBD stopped that. It just did not allow my mind to go there. It put a block right there. So it was amazing. I was a huge fan. But then, as I said in the video, and I encourage you, if you have not gotten a chance to watch the video, I encourage you to go onto the Royal We channel, watch the latest uploaded video. But 2 weeks into taking it, I started getting massively congested out of nowhere. And I'm not the type of person to get congested. So it really threw me off. I kept taking the CBD for another week, and the congestion would not go away. And I said, something is wrong. I don't really get allergies. I don't get congested. I mean, my nose was just clogged. I sounded like this when I would talk, and I couldn't breathe. I was just massive. Like there was some kind of an allergic reaction. It was definitely an allergy, but it didn't hit me until after I was taking the CBD. And, I stopped taking the CBD a while ago. We got our first caller. And listen, I'm going to have to stop my story right here to take our first caller from Las Vegas. And because that's what the show's all about. And Las Vegas, you're live on the Royal We. Good evening.
Yes, hi, is this Kevin?
Yeah, this is Kevin. You're live.
Okay, so my question is this. Being a male and having these kinds of issues, I'm gonna take it off speaker. Being a male and having these kinds of issues is something that you, me, and some of the other guys that are watching have, and a lot of it's perhaps because of unhealthy relationships between mothers, sisters, aunts, etc.
Right.
Being a little bit stepping out of their bounds. And I guess what I'm learning from last week is that women have perhaps a little bit more of an upper hand. Well, if I'm going to have to surrender to the fact that women do have an upper hand, just how much of an upper hand do I have to keep giving, since I didn't even get dealt a hand in the household that I was in with the mom and sister I had? They just dominated the men in the house because
right.
my mom knew how to manipulate. She was married several times.
Right. Right.
We're talking about being a good bully. She was good at being a bully, but then keeping the people that she could trust close enough. And anyway, so
yeah,
that's my question. I think I know what you do with it.
Well, it's interesting that you bring this up. There's a ongoing. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm going to try to while I'm doing this. National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. I get a lot of data from this. Okay. And one of the when it comes to abuse, one of the statistics show that actually men are psychologically more abused by women than women are. Okay, so when we're talking about domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, right? Women typically are statistically, physically violated more than men are, but statistically, men are psychologically violated
it's been wild
than men are. And the statistics is something like 40. Gosh, I want to give the right answer, but anybody can go on the NCADV. It's where I get my data from, and you can see this, and it just blew my mind. But it makes complete.
You know what?
It makes complete sense.
I'd like to ask another question then, because you're bringing up something that leads to the next thing. Is that when I'm dating? When we are dating, when men date women, women date men, etc., or whatever, there's a certain amount of chase that occurs.
Right.
There's a certain amount of chase that has to occur.
Right.
And it's a way to kind of find out level of interest the person really has for the other. Just how much do you like me here, sir, or how much do you like me here, ma'am? Right. And there's a chase involved. How into each partner is trying to find out just how into the other person is. So sometimes there's these games that are played.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's borderline nice, and sometimes it's borderline manipulation. And sometimes when it crosses into that possible manipulation category, I just say, you know what? I don't want anything to do with her or any women. And I just go in this hiatus for 5 or 10 years where I don't even date.
Right. Yeah.
That's my solution. So I say, well, I guess they're all the same, and I just walk away from all of them. And I say, well, I don't even want to be involved. Yeah. And that's where I've been at, and I'm 40.
Yeah, no, it's definitely rough, and it's, I wouldn't say it's a game, but it is definitely a dance. It's a dance.
A dance.
Okay. And so here's how the dance goes, right? So everything that I said last week, I believe is 100% wholeheartedly true when it comes to men and women, and that is that women are the desire. It's the prize. That women are the reason that men, you're frustrated right now, probably because of that fact. Because it's a chase, it's a game. You want so desperately to have that good woman. You want that warm body next to you. You want that nurturing, because we're designed to want that. This is what every man wants, right? And so I was absolutely accurate in telling women to let them know that they are that prize. They're so desired. They're so wanted. And I said that last week in effort to let women know their value, because I believe that women don't understand this, and they give themselves up and give themselves away to the chumps of the world, so to speak, the guys who really don't want to offer them anything but want to use them. They give themselves away so cheaply, in a sense, for a few laughs, a few drinks, right? They allow this to happen. And then what happens is it's a breakdown of the whole way of things being, and then it scars and breaks that woman. And then when a woman meets a good guy who wants a relationship, maybe you, now that woman has in the back of her mind, a possible guy who's just going to use me again. So now she's going to play a different game. Do you follow me? Making it more difficult on you. So the whole system, the whole dating thing, the whole thing has been broken down because of culture, because of the world, because of the slip of morals, of values, of the hippies in the 70s, of pornography, of all this stuff. It has severely damaged and broken the whole courtship and the whole dating process altogether. And so I think, you got to understand these things coming together. At this point in time, if you're going to date, you have to understand that the woman you're dealing with has most likely been broken by some schlub who fooled her.
Well, that's why I like what you're trying to educate the people out there, to let them know that, look, women, and this conversation should probably be heard by a lot of women who are wondering why the nice guy she always finds the perfect guy, calls him oversensitive, and then 6 months or a year later, she's wishing she would have had him still. Yeah, and it's like by the time these women come back to me, I'm going, well, I don't even trust you anymore. I feel like screaming. I'm saying, and most how women, the heck am I supposed to come back to this?
Right, and most women, if they come out of a relationship where they have been abused, yelled at, screamed at, cussed at, demeaned, devalued, used as just a sexual object in the relationship, and then dumped on, when they get into a relationship with a good guy, a nice guy, and the guy is trying to love and trying to nurse and saying, yeah, whatever, the girl then, the woman then starts to slip with her language. Because that's what she was exposed to.
Hang on. My main point on this is that women should go, since you just said that today's day and age, men are way more likely to be the ones who are psychologically abused in their home.
Right.
So I think that if women, we already know what men do. Us men have been trained. Society has taught the last several generations that men are somehow bad and that they need to kind of, shape up or ship out because they're game players and stuff. We've already been told how bad we are by everybody. Okay, we already understand that.
It's a bunch of BS.
So there's guys like myself who do not want to hurt anybody, do not want to lie to anybody, and that's why I do my best to purposely make sure that she knows that I'm definitely not playing a game.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is that if she all of a sudden suspects that I am playing a game, I'm going, well, wait a minute. I've done nothing to indicate that I'm a liar in any way. And I start to get quite disinterested at that point because I'm going, well, what the hell did I lie about? What did I do? And I'm just going, well, this doesn't work for me. So I don't even stick around.
Right. So here's the thing. If you're going to date, here's what, it's a dance. It's a dance. Okay.
It's a dance.
And you want to what you want to find out in this dance together, and this dance I'm talking about in the dating world, it's sexual only in the sense that you're a man, she's a woman, and you want to make sure you both feel these desires, but you don't want to let the sexual part go past that. Okay, and so, but during this dance, you want to really try to find out who the other person is. The moves they make. So you know what? If she's been broken and she's hurt and she has some trust issues, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Now, if she's cussing you out and calling you names because she can't control her anger, that's and you have to tell her, listen, please don't talk like that around me. And she gets an attitude saying, what's wrong with you? Okay, run for the hills. That's a girl you don't want to be with. Because she will verbally and psychologically start messing with you and not care.
What about the women that just basically they lie about stuff, or they just when I try to recall, whenever I try to get back on the same page, it seems like women would want to get on the same page with them. I don't know. You know what I mean?
No. So again, these are things you look at and you start to see the habitual lying. And we're not talking, and these are red flags. And so as you're dancing, you're picking these things up. And since you're not getting sexual yet, which is important, that you discover these things without any sex involved, and then you're able to, listen, let's not, hang out as much, and you can kind of cool it, right? And it's not going to create this big fallout where police are called and all this drama. Why? Because you did not allow either yourself or her to take advantage of you See, because too many people, they instead of just going for the signs, they see these things. Oh, liar. Oh, hey, no bad. Oh, you want to go home and get our pants down? Oh, sure. Okay. Well, now you just opened up a whole new door of evil and of wickedness. And now when you're ready and when you call out those things, hey, you're calling that you're lying. I don't like that. Guess what? It's too late. You've already had your pants down, man. You've already used her body, and you've already connected on such a level that you're not just going to get out of it that easy. Because there's already been an exchange of something so personal and so precious. Now it's personal. Oh, you don't like my flaws now? You liked my body, but you don't like my flaws? Oh, now it's personal. It's on. It's a fight. And that's what you want to avoid.
God.
And so the whole purpose of this slow dance in relationships...
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Isn't the dance supposed to be until marriage? Isn't that when you're you continue
if I had a
perfected
bell,
your dance?
If I had a bell, I would ring it right now. Ding, 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 ding. That is awesome right there. Yes, that's exactly it. That's the whole purpose of courtship. And most people are like, well, I'm not doing that. That's old school, man. That's Old Testament. We live in 2020, man. If we're not having sex after 2 dates, then forget it. Well, let those people go.
No, that's my question to the woman who's going to all of a sudden take it personal that I'm asking questions after just because we had sex doesn't mean I'm still not interested in finding out, like, you know, what A, B, or C implies, because we're not married yet. We're still dancing.
Right.
I mean, we all have things that we ask God to forgive us for. I know for myself, I'm not perfect. I don't want to just invite a girl over to have sex the first day.
Right.
You know, perhaps, I mean, but like if I'm going to go out on a date, maybe meet a girl a few times at least, maybe actually like make sure the two people have a great connection. You know, if a great connection's occurred, Listen,
the great connection is not sex. Listen, sex is and I tell women this too, sex is the easy part. It's easy. It's. Are you kidding? Once again, we're talking about an act that takes 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? For some people, maybe D got mad last time, said like 2 hours, right? But still, that's not the hard part. That's the easy part. See, there's so much emphasis put on in today's world on people saying, well, we got to make sure we're sexually compatible. Bullshit. If a guy's got a wiener and it gets hard, you're in. And the girls is the same thing. Listen, a dude is a dude is a dude. We all got that same twig. It does exactly the same thing. It's so annoying listening to people going, oh, it's actually got to be... No. Listen, if you work, it works. If your body works, you can work out all the things that work for you later on when you're married. You know what I mean? As far as how you like to try it and what.
Right. Yeah, that kind of stuff can be talked about.
Yes, exactly.
Because people can always get better at certain things.
That's it. But you cannot get better if you go that route first and then try to change the other person's character that you failed to verify that that's what you can deal with in life. It's too late for that, right? You've already given each other the most precious thing. Now you can't go back and try to change the fact that they lie, cuss, cheat, steal, because that's their character. And you should have picked that up before you decided to use their body. You follow me? So this is the importance of courtship, and it goes both ways, right? It's that slow dance. Now for guys, and here's how I explain it to women, and women are getting a lesson. This is exactly how I would explain dating to women, and maybe you can get something out of this too. Any normal guy is going to at some point in time start to get frustrated sexually because they like the woman. It's an attractive woman, and guys need that nurturing. They need that touch. And so it's the woman's responsibility to say, no, I don't know you yet. Okay. Guys will get frustrated and say, well, I don't know that you like me. Because without that touch, without that sex, especially in today's culture, today's pornographic culture, a guy's going to get frustrated and say, wait a minute, how do I know you like me? Maybe you're not attracted to me. Maybe that's why. And so this is why I tell women to verbally express. So imagine
tell the guy,
So imagine now, right. So imagine the woman now says, no, you're very attractive. I'm very attracted to you. I just don't, I want to make sure. that everything works out. And then the guy might still get frustrated and say, well, wait a minute. So, I mean, well, how do I know maybe you're just not a sexually active person? I can't live like that for all my life and never have sex. And then the woman, the woman can use her words once again to say, oh, no, listen, dude, I will rock your world. I will make sure I'm the type of woman.
I think that's very good advice. That's very good advice, because
I'm the type of woman that would make sure I would make sure you can't walk when I'm done with you, right? But we're not there because I don't know you. And so there's ways in which you verbally can communicate these things and play a game carefully. This is part of the dance. It's a slow dance. And then when you decide, when everything else in life lines up, their finances make sense to you, the way they run their home makes sense to you, what they do for a living makes sense to you, and for her, it's the same way. Then when you get married, you fulfill your promise. Then it's...
So basically what you're saying, Kevin, is what we do is, instead of classifying everything as this is the first date, this is the first moment, this was the first time we had sex, this was the first vacation, instead of looking at things like that, or second or third or whatever they are, when people look back at memories in their current relationship or former one, they should just look at it as everything in it is a slow dance, and that the sex comes at the end of the night, but the night might not end for a few weeks, a few months, or a year or something.
I would say at the very least 8 months, 6 to 8 months, and by that time you should be. No,
I hear you. No, I'm not even asking for a time frame. I'm saying that the mindset should be that, hey, the two people met, and we can think of each other as we are currently dancing on the dance floor, and we're asking each other, hey, what do you like? Well, this is what I like. Right. And then when we meet up for these dates, we're kind of dancing at the restaurant. We're dancing in the movies. We're dancing as we underneath the stars, because if you want to look at the stars and stuff for a date, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All of it's just a big dance then.
That's it.
I like it, Kevin. I appreciate it.
That's it. All right. And as far
Thank you very much. Continue with the show. I'll be watching. Thanks, man.
Right on. All
right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's good to have a call. Nice, bold caller. I'm so glad that the caller called in. And listen, the telephone line is open. You're welcome to call at any time. Telephone number's right behind me. And so, listen, it's absolutely true. We got into the dating aspect there. However, I would like to just... D's still on that joke about the 2 hour. 2 hours for D. I don't make joke about intimacy taking 2 hours from me. I believe intimacy is not just that clarifies it, D. Okay, that makes sense. You're talking the whole incubation period, so to speak, right? 2 hours, meaning from the time you're cooking dinner, eating dinner, watching your favorite show together, reading a book together, having that glass of whatever together, and then you have the 5 or 10 minutes, right? Is that what you mean, D? So if you add it all up, it ends up being 2 hours. I got you. I'm right there with you, D. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. So now, what I do want to talk about, touch on a little bit about what he was saying, is about growing up in a home with a psychologically abusive mom, sisters. Listen, how many, at the risk of losing all of you, because the Royal We family is predominantly women. But the truth is that women can be very psychologically abusive towards men, especially in today's society, in today's culture. It promotes it. It absolutely promotes it, especially to young girls, right? It's very, very sad. You got young girls running around looking at guys like, mature men saying, oh, old stupid white guy, you're too old, you're too stupid. This is just the mentality, and it can become very psychologically abusive and disrespectful, and so and a lot of guys grew up in homes like that, with verbally abusive mothers who were very hostile and aggressive with their voice, very unnurturing, would rob and steal young boys from the nurturing that they so desperately need from a mother. Right? And it forever changes their relationship and how comfortable they feel with getting close to women. Because if the mother can't give nurturing, if the mother's not able to give nurturing, if the mother demeans a young man with her words, telling him he's no good, this and that, then yeah, it's very rough. It's very damaging, and you don't have a healthy outlook on women necessarily after that, right? It happens all the time. And then there's women who are very, and this is what I would warn the guys of. If a woman is very quick to get sexual, meaning she's the type, not all women, this isn't the case for all of them, but the women who are most likely the ones who are, showing off their body real quick to get the guy in bed and this and that, because women don't typically act like that unless they want something. These ones are typically the ones who are flattering for a reason. They're looking for a payoff, right? They're not just, I typically tell guys it's not normal for women to just jump on you and take you down like that. Women don't have necessarily that kind of drive like men in that regards. It's because they're looking for some kind of a payout. And what they're doing is they are sort of giving a loan. I'm going to give you this, but I want this out of it. And psychologically abusive women will take that, what they want, whether they have to do it verbally, abusively, or not, right? It can get real crazy, real fast, right? So it's important for both sides, men and women, when you meet somebody, right? You do that slow dance, right? So for you guys, all two of you watching, right? That cute girl that looks hot in that dress with her boobs all pushed up to here, right? And you want to do nothing but play like a little boy, like, oh my goodness, I'm in play toyland. This is amazing, right? No, slow down. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know the person, right? And that is ultimately more important than what is being showcased, right? And so for you women, on the other hand, though, you can be beautiful. You can walk with confidence and elegance and look good. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But at the same time, don't offer yourself in that way. You could be untouchable, right? Until that particular guy has won your value. Does that make sense? And so, anyways, stop talking about that. Women can have that kind of drive too. Oh, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a daily thing for women like it is for most typical men. Anyways, what are we doing? Right on. Okay, what are we talking about here? We really got off on that one, huh? Where were we talking about right before that phone call? We went off on that tangent. I think we were talking about CBD. We're also talking about the social distancing. I wanted to wrap up a little bit about that. And, well, first, let me see if there's any questions in the community before I go off on another tangent here, because I know my ADHD can go running off on a tangent. I want to make sure that I haven't missed any questions. Does anybody ask any questions, D or Tanya? Tanya said scream. What is she? Were you talking to me, Tanya? Let's see. Any questions? Any questions that I missed in the community? Oh, yes. All right. No questions so far. All right. Okay. So, at any rate, let's real briefly talk about the social distancing aspect right now that we're dealing with, because this is going to be hopefully the next video that I'm going to post on the Organic Royal We channel. Social distancing is being heavily promoted right now because of the whole epidemic that has broken out. And social distancing is a good thing, but a lot of people are really struggling with it. A lot of people are having a lot of grief, a lot of anxiety over the social distancing. They're struggling to keep themselves occupied. They're bored. Social distancing, however, is something that you and I have already been in practice because of narcissistic abuse, because of toxic relationships. We're kind of used to it, right? So for some of us, it's kind of nice. Okay, you know what I mean? But for the majority, for a lot of people, it's not. They're not there yet. Social distancing has always been a part. I wanted to get a biblical reference on social distancing and on sickness, and it predates Jesus. All right, it really does. We can go back into Levitical law, the book of Leviticus, and they had some heavy ways in which they dealt with sickness. Not only the physical aspect of sickness, but they also looked at sickness as being something that is attached to sin. Okay, and I'm going to talk more about this in the in the video. Yeah, hey Carl, thank you for calling. That was you. Appreciate that. Now sickness. If somebody in the Levitical camp, right, was sick, they were met by the priest. And if they had some kind of a weird illness, especially leprosy at the time, which was a big thing they dealt with, they would do some really wild stuff, man. Kill some birds, dip one bird in the blood of the other bird, and sprinkle it on the dude, hose him off with the bird blood, and then they would send him out away from the group, away from the camp, to bathe, wash all their clothes, shave all their hair, shave their eyebrows. We're talking complete manscaping here, right? And they were to stay in isolation for 7 days. Okay. Then after the 7 days, they were to do that again. They were to shave their hair, shave their eyebrows, take a bath, wash their clothes. Total of 14 days. Now, it's interesting to see that even now, the typical incubation period is known as 14 days. So it really blows my mind. A lot of the people that look at the ancient world and the biblical times as being uneducated and not knowing anything about medicine and this and that. Why in the world are we still following their times, right? That was written in the book of Leviticus. So 14-day incubation period. Then they would come back, be examined by the priest, and allowed back into the camp or not. Sometimes they're allowed in the camp, but they'd have to sleep outside the tent. So they took sickness very seriously. All right. The other aspect of it, and the part that has to do with the blood and the birds and, you know what I mean, hosing them down, basically had to do with the sin aspect of being sick. And here's why, and this is where social distancing comes into play, is that these communities were tight. They broke bread together on a daily basis. They did everything together. They knew about each other's health. There was no room for sickness in the community. The only way in which somebody got sick is if they left the community. They left the camp and went outside of it for God knows what reason to meet God knows who and do God knows what, and then bring it back to the camp, and then that's when they were met. And the priest said, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute, Charlie. You mean to tell me you left the camp, went to Spring Break, Florida, to be a part of that orgy, and now you brought back whatever they had? No. Dude, we're going to hose you down with bird blood and water. There you go. Now, get the heck out of here. 7 days. Shave your hair, shave your eyebrows, take a bath, burn your clothes, do all that stuff, and then do that again. Right? We don't want to see you for 14 days. Then come back and we'll see if you still have this weird thing that you're trying to bring back to the camp. So, social distancing is a huge thing to them, not only because of the sickness, but because of the sin aspect. They understood that the only way that something was contracted like that was because they were out of bounds, out from where they're supposed to be. So how does this relate to us? Okay. Well, social distancing has always been a thing. Togetherness and being responsible and being a part of a camp has always been a thing in the ancient world. Today, it's not. We live in a culture and a world, people do whatever they want, wherever they want, with whomever they want to. Bars are open 24 hours, right? You know, I had a conversation with a gal once, and we were talking about narcissistic abuse, and she got mad at me because I said, listen, it ultimately, she was talking about where she goes and this and that and how she's sick of meeting these people. And I said, how about you stop going to these bars? Listen, you cannot go into a bar where you know there's drunk guys and they're probably going to pinch your butt and this and that. If you don't want that to happen, don't go to that. And she got mad at me, I remember, and she said, well, how about I go wherever I want to go and they just be respectful? The world doesn't work that way. And this is why in Leviticus, book of Leviticus, they understood this. The priest said, listen, we have everything here in this camp. Don't go out in the world because it's not your world. That sinful life is not yours. You can't go there and tell them to do what you want. You go out there and you get involved in these things. You get whatever's out there. Period. End. So we got to stop this entitlement idea. Why I should be able to go and do whatever I want to do. Drink whatever I want to drink with whomever I want to have, and smoke whatever I want to smoke, and whatever I want to do. And if I get, and nothing bad should happen to me. People should respect me everywhere I go, right? It's just ridiculous, right? And so the whole social distancing thing hopefully it's definitely going to change people, but what people are not really prepared for is to the extent at which it's putting us back in that place where we're becoming responsible people again, and we understand that if we just decide we're going to go out and do whatever we want to do with whoever we want to do it with, we are risking And this isn't just because of the current epidemic, but life in general, right? In the video I want to put out there, I want to talk about, listen, sickness is one thing, but how many of you are sick right now because of the mental illness that you've been inflicted with, because of abusive people, because of the disease of narcissism, because of abusive people, toxic people, right? Well, how did you come in contact with that toxic person? What were you doing? Where were you at? What morals did you leave behind? Did you leave your camp, morally speaking, to go out and venture into this unknown area, right? Where you picked up something, right? So that's what I have to say about that. And so look forward to that that video. It's going to be coming out. Have you watched any of Kevin's other videos? Very helpful, focus on learning. So any other questions so far about what we are talking about? Tanya's brain hurts. Tanya. Tanya, don't let your brain hurt, hon. All right. Cheryl says, I'm a social person. Give friends hugs. Start a chat with strangers. Sometimes end up giving a complete stranger a hug because they just needed it. It bothers me not to have that contact with people. You know, I get that. I'm just scared that I will get another cheating, abusive narc girlfriend again. I want to be with a woman, like Kevin said, but I am very troubled by the narcissistic element. Grant, as we talked about it, if you want to know the type of woman that you're dealing with, look at the speed in which she's moving. Look at a good woman's not going to make herself available for you right away. Okay? The quicker a girl makes herself available for you in certain ways, probably the quicker she makes herself available anyways. I think one of the things we have to realize, Grant, is we as individuals, when it comes to this, I wouldn't even say this about myself. Now, I don't know what you look like, Grant, right? I'm pretty sure you're a stud muffin, all right? But that being said, it doesn't really matter, right? You're not that great, okay? I wouldn't even say that about myself. I'm not great. I'm not. So to come across a girl who makes herself available, and I've had to learn this, it's taken me many years, who makes herself available so quickly in such a way, it's not because I'm so special. It's because that's who that girl is. You follow me? And I'm trying to say this in a very non-offensive way to everybody out there. But this is the truth, right? We have to stop looking at ourselves as, oh my gosh, I'm so amazing that girl, she wanted to jump my bones on the third night. That's how awesome I am. Boom! Flexing in the mirror, going, that's right, my slick back hair. Man, I'm Mr. Something. No, that's who that girl is. If she's doing that, with or without you, it will be with somebody else, if not you. You follow me? So I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just trying to say, so this is why that dance is important. That slow dance is important. Okay? And getting to know who and what you're dealing with. Did I offend anybody right there? I hope not. I'm just trying to be honest with you. So, see if there's any questions. Boom, 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 boom. He stole $20,000. Man, that's no good. Grant says she was so fast and beautiful. Now my life is in ruins. There you go, Grant. There's your answer. Right there. It was the speed, right? So fast, right? Like a thief, just in, boom, and out. Fooled you, suckered you by laying you out, giving you what you wanted, right? She knew exactly what it was that would get you to lose your focus, lose your responsibility, lose your morals, lose your values, and take what she needed to take, right, from that situation. This is what you have to be aware of. And yes, we live in a day and age, dare I say this, where guys, you're in a position now where you also need to be the ones to say, whoa, calm down. Yeah, you're hot. Yeah, I see you wear that. You got your... Yeah, you're trying to look good and you look cute and you're beautiful and you're amazing and I would love nothing more than to get close, but I don't know you. So guys, this works for you too. You have to be able to do this. I don't know you, right? There's interesting scriptures. I'm going to share this with you. King Solomon had all the wisdom. And one of the things he hit on for his son is he said, son, he was talking specifically, you will come across the woman at the house, the more mature woman, who is barely dressed, who is saying, oh boy, come here, boy. Let us drink our share of love together. Right? The man of the house is gone. I've got nice sheets on. Come in. Let's have some drinks. Okay? And King Solomon's warning to his son is don't do it. Because it's a death trap. Solomon said that. And at the end, she stings like a viper. Gotcha. Your life is over, son. So this is something you have to be mindful of, right? It doesn't necessarily mean, that doesn't just relate to young boys and older, mature women. It just relates to that type of thing. And we have to be aware of this, right? And anyways, I think the women here are like, Kev, the royal we, move on. Let's not talk about this no more. Any other questions from the group? Any other questions at all? We're getting deep tonight. On the royal we. Deep thoughts on the royal we. No more questions? All right. Well, listen, y'all, we will wrap it up. I do encourage you to take a look at the videos on the Organic Royal We channel. Yeah. D's right. Yes, please. What, Tanya? Yes, please end the show now? Is that what you're saying? Yes, please. Deep thoughts. Thank you, D. Deep thoughts on the royal we. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you are all here. I'm going to send you out with some music tonight. A little bit of I Won't Stop Now. This is for Tanya. Doot 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 boop boop boop. All right, everybody, listen. Do be careful out there with the whole epidemic. Stay in if you can. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Also, be sure to catch the royal we. Oh, am I blurry? Am I that blurry? I think so. Oh well. Hopefully it will come back in. And be sure to check out. Okay. I'm back. You're welcome to donate to the Royal We through the Organic Royal We channel. There's a PayPal option there. You can also join the Patreon and support monthly. If you're able to do that, that's what helps keep this Royal We going every Monday night live. The goal is to get to enough to be able to do this on a daily basis for you all, but that's in the distant future. But we're not going to quit. As Tanya says, I won't quit. Neither will I. We're going to keep going until the Royal We reaches its full potential, and you are the measure of the Royal We. You take the Royal We as far and as wide as the Royal We can possibly go, because you're the Royal We community, and thank you all for being here. I'm so happy you're here, blessed by you. And that's it for tonight. We'll be back with more next week. Let's see what D says here. I'm relying on someone else to do it for you. But okay, still no questions for me. You all are just talking amongst yourselves, and that's fine. But closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? So hopefully you all head back over to the Facebook support group. Meet up with Blue. Blue should be over there helping you all out. Tanya, D, Nora, and yeah. All right. Much love to all of you. Have a great night, everybody.